cancer was found because I was being followed very carefully over the years. I had a history of non-malignant or benign tumors and cysts.
It was a Friday morning that we went to the doctor, found it on Thursday, went Friday morning to the doctor. Immediately, our family doctor said, yes, that is definitely a lump. You need to go right away to the St. East Breast Center and have a mammogram.
I had breast cancer, and I found it myself in between mammograms. And I was one of these people who eat right, go for the yearly mammograms, and this was just a strange kind of tumor. And I found it on January 1st of 2006.
At the age of 28, I found a spot on my shirt one day and went to the doctor, and they did my first mammogram that I've ever had, and it was diagnosed, I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
I found a lump on my breast, and I went to the doctor, and the doctor said not to worry about it. I'm trying to get pregnant, probably nothing to worry about. So then I went into the local hospital and had a lumpectomy done, and the doctor came in after I had the surgery, and he leaned over my bed and he said, "Laura, you have cancer."
Last October 2006, I was lying on the beach and I was just sort of feeling myself around and discovered an enormous lump in my breast. A lump that was way too big to have been sitting there for very long. It was about the size of a lemon. And when I looked in the mirror, I could see that my breast was completely different than the other breast. Well, a very good friend of mine suggested that I go to the doctor right away, which I did. And the next morning, he told me in a very shaken voice that he was pretty sure it was cancer, and that he was pretty sure that it was advanced cancer.
In August of 2004, I had been working on the lawn and thought I got bit or stung by a bee, and I have a problem with bee stings. My breast blew up and it didn't go down, so I went to the doctor. They ran tests from August 2004 to February of 2005.
It was stunning to me to feel something that was different than only a few weeks ago. Can I possibly have breast cancer if I'm young? I have no family history. I do self-breast exams regularly. I, don't smoke. I've never smoked. I'm not obese. I'm very athletic, active.
And I started crying, and the first thoughts that went through my mind is, what's going to happen to my children?
During that period, like most people getting that kind of diagnosis, I was pretty much walking into walls. I think I was in shock. I had a choice. Either I was going to be a bitter old biddy, or I was going to say, let's make the best of what you have in front of you. That was not easy. I had to push myself. My friends and family helped tremendously.
And from there, that went to chemotherapy, radiation, and then biotherapy to combat that. I started therapy in September. I think back. September, I went for 13 months. I never once was sick, not nauseous, never vomited, any of that. I was tired, don't get me wrong. Tired, achy body, hot, then cold. Didn't feel right, definitely didn't feel normal. There were days that I really did need to just be at home and not function, and that typically happens about 48 hours after a chemo treatment.
Luckily enough, the tumor was small. It had all the good signs, if you can have good signs in cancer. It had not spread to my lymph nodes, but it was of the size and type that it was advised that I undergo chemotherapy, which I did. It was 8 cycles, which took me through that August. Following that, I started radiation, and that was daily for 6 weeks. I did have a very good support system, and they were extremely, extremely helpful. Someone said, one day you'll realize that today you really didn't think about the cancer. And you say, that's not at all possible. And in fact, it does happen. So being faced with a life-threatening illness, yes, it's life-threatening, but it wasn't a death sentence. It's manageable for many women for many years, and you can't crawl in under a rock. You have to face it and you have to fight.
I'm surviving, I will survive, and I'm gonna beat this monster.
This August I was 2 years cancer-free. There's a lot of kind of safety nets, you know, to keep you connected with the oncology group, which I think is really a blessing. Because you feel, after you go through so much treatment and you're seeing your physicians and you're, you know, seeing people and nurses very regularly, when you stop, it's a very unsettled feeling. I go every 3 months to see my oncologist, and I have every 6-month breast mammograms, and then the alternating 6 months is a breast MRI. I do self-breast exams regularly. It's so simple, it's so easy, it takes just moments of time. I think women really need to take responsibility for that. You can't just wait to do it annually when you go to your annual exam with your physician. Not a death sentence, and it doesn't have to be. And really, attitude plays such an important factor in your recovery from surgery and how you're getting through the treatments. You know, you just have to remain focused. It's a journey, it's a mission, it's a very short period of time when you factor your whole life. You know, accept the role, accept the challenge, and move forward.
It was a journey, but I had a lot of people lifting me up, so I had a lot of good support, and I consider myself a survivor of 1 year and 1 day, because you just don't knock, if you're going to knock on death's door, knock on it and run.
Join Dan Henderson, along with the Lance Armstrong Foundation and 4deCure.org, on the Breast Cancer Awareness Bicycle Tour. Dan will be riding his bike over 4,300 miles from Oregon to Pennsylvania. He hopes that by doing this, he will help raise awareness and funding for breast cancer research.
And let me just say this, breast cancer messed with the wrong girl when it messed with my girl.
The journey is only beginning.